Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Resilience by Faith. I am your host, Reese, and I am so grateful that you decided to join us this week for our new series, which is Self Discovery and Identity. It's a whole mental health series that I wanted to do for people that are still in their 20s because boy, oh boy, the roaring 20s, right? Like, if it's not one thing, it's another. But I'm not claiming that in this season, being that we're in a whole new year and we're out for everything that we ever wanted to accomplish, all of our goals, our dreams. We're going to be positive. We're definitely being ruthless and unapologetic in this season because we owe that to ourselves. And I wanted to do a whole series with nothing but talking about what it's like to be in our 20s, or even if you're older and you're out of the 20s, this could still apply to you. It can still be very relatable. And I just want it to be real. I wanted to have a discussion, a conversation. I wanted you to pull up a seat at the table and join me in having this conversation. Now, I will say that how I'm feeling right now, because you have probably noticed a couple of changes to the podcast. So I'm thinking for the first couple of episodes of this year, I'm just going to go back to just doing audio only. And I know some people like the visual and the audio, but what was happening was I was getting too caught up in, oh my God, what am I wearing? Or, oh my gosh, I can't batch create for them because they're going to know I wore the same shirt in 20 different videos. It was really adding another layer of stress, and it was taking the fun out of recording the podcast. So I said, okay, anything that's causing stress, anything that's causing me to not be my best and show up as the best version of myself needs to be eliminated. So I decided to take video off of the podcast and just do audio because that's how podcasts started out in the first place. So take it back to the basics. And I'm telling you right now, for any podcasters that I have listening, you probably can relate to me when I say it is definitely taking a layer of stress off of the plate to not have to worry about everything being completely perfect for you to be able to record. And that's all I'll say on that. Thank you guys so much for showing up every time I drop an episode. And I'm hoping that this fourth season, woo woo, of the podcast is something that's definitely enjoyable and helpful for you. So, without further ado, let's jump into our topic for today, which is self discovery and identity. Like, whoa, did you just say identity in your 20s? Yeah, we can all laugh about that, but it is possible. We come into our 20s thinking we know who we are, and then life shows us that we really don't know who we are. I definitely think that now that I'm in my last year of my 20s, that as I look back in hindsight, I definitely see how every situation I experienced in my 20s brought another level of understanding of self and another level of character building for myself. So, character building and understanding is definitely two things that I can see that every situation, every uncomfortable situation, unfair situation, every trial and tribulation I had to face brought another layer of understanding of who I am and what needs to be worked on or fixed or where I can do better. And with that, of course, automatically it helps to build your character and helps to continue shaping you into the person that you were meant to be, that God meant for you to be. And definitely, it's hard. Like, I will definitely not recommend, but you can't go through life without going through your 20s. So, regardless if I recommend it or not, it's just something that we all have to go through, fortunately, but unfortunately, because it doesn't feel good. But growth doesn't feel good. Ooh, let that sink in. Growth doesn't feel good. And I do honestly believe that your 20s is a time period of growth. It's a time period of growth. It's a time period of failure and growing from it, getting back up. Like you're going to fall. And I'm pretty sure everybody listening to this can relate. You're going to fall in some area, some category of life, and you're not going to want to get back up because it hurts too much. The fall hurt too much. So you're like, oh my God, I just went into debt, or I just messed up my credit, or I just picked the wrong friends in the wrong company, or I really don't like my job. But then you have to really get down to, well, what are you going to do about it? Is this an opportunity? I'm learning even now, today, where we are right now. I'm learning that every minor setback, every thing that I go through is an opportunity within it. We can't just look at the destruction and the catastrophe. We have to be focused on, okay, yeah, this happened, but what can I do because this happened? What opportunity is lying within this catastrophic situation or this uncomfortable situation that I'm experiencing right now? And there's always a brighter side to every uncomfortable or unimaginable situation. And I have learned by thinking that way, it's one, stops you from catastrophizing everything else. And two, it helps you to enjoy life a little bit more, trust God extremely more, because while you're doing whatever opportunity you have to do, He could use that to turn that into something completely, something you couldn't even fathom, something that you're just like, wow, this came out of me just enjoying where I am. I have learned definitely that you stressing about things don't change anything. You're just stressing about it. I really don't understand the point of stress and worry. I know that that comes to steal, kill, and destroy because it's from the enemy. But definitely, I really don't understand. I guess it just comes from the enemy because Satan is confusion, right? And so you can sit in your stress and your worry like forever in a day, or you can just see what opportunities lie within it and make something of it, like I just said a few minutes ago. So I'll move on to segment 2, which is addressing questions of identity now. I will definitely say during your 20s, you'll probably question, okay, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Why did God make me form me in my mother's womb? Why, like, what does He know about me that I don't know about myself? And I found the easiest way to answer those questions is none other spend time with God, none other than to spend time with Him. Because being that He is the one who formed you and He is the one who knows what He created you for and what you were meant to do on this earth, then He is the one that can tell you and answer that question for you. I don't believe that anybody on TikTok or anybody on Instagram or anybody anywhere else can answer that question for you like God can. And so definitely, I think this falls into identity rather nicely, because you have to have the right people around you and the right friends to be able to point you back to God. And I feel like if your friends are not pointing you back to God when you have questions, when you're going through trials and tribulations, when you are not happy, when things are occurring in your life, then what are they doing? What are they good for? Are they just there when you succeed, when you're getting things done, or are they there regardless of a win or a loss, but are they there to uplift you and point you back in the right direction? So I think a lot of your identity, purpose is found in God, but I also think that it's definitely found in community, surrounding yourself with the right people, surrounding yourself with the people that, because sometimes on the outside, people see things about you that you didn't even acknowledge about yourself, know about yourself. People will be like, God, you're very successful. One of your strengths is blah, blah, blah. I have noticed that you're weak in this area, but you make up for it in this area. Things that, even though we are ourselves and we spend the most time with ourselves, we don't even notice that, wow, this is a strength. Wow, I'm very good at this. Wow, I'm successful. I'm killing this. I didn't even notice. I was just going through, life, living life, trying to do the best I can every day, day in and day out. And it's so easy to get caught up in the robot style of life. Go to work, come home, go to work, come home, go to the grocery store, go get an oil change, go like every so often, every 3 months, go get an oil change, go get our hair cut, trimmed. Don't forget to go check on mom. If you got children, do this for the kids. It's like everybody else gets the best of us and who we are except for us. And so I truly think that surrounding yourself with the right people, spending time with God, and making yourself a priority is definitely how you can overcome those questions of identity and self in your 20s. Moving on to segment 3, I'll definitely say challenges and triumphs, which we already touched a little bit on segment 2, addressing questions of identity. But challenges, there are going to be many, 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 many challenges in life and triumphs. And I would definitely say it feels like it's more challenges than triumphs, but every time you overcome a challenge, that is a triumph. So I guess I say they're about equal. It's just that we only acknowledge the bad things or only acknowledge the really, really extremely good things, because every day isn't going to be an extremely good day. And every day isn't going to be an extremely bad day. Life is literally what you make it. And so when challenges arise, like going back to segment 1, the journey of self discovery, you look at the challenge and you say, what opportunity is this affording me? I know it's weird. I know it's not usually the norm. I know it's not usually how our brain works or the first thing that we want to say or do. But I will say, I challenge you to look at your challenges when they arise and ask yourself, what opportunity is this affording me? Do I have more time to do that thing I've been praying to God that I need to do, but never have enough time to do it? Does it free me up to be XYZ, XYZ? What is it giving you in return? Yes, it's giving you uncomfortability. Yes, it's giving you the unknown. Yes, it's giving you lost somebody, they're no longer in your life, or you don't have the comfort of dot, dot, dot. You can fill in the blank all day long. But if you look at the situation of what is this allowing me to do instead, what opportunity am I walking into? I feel like you'll get so much more out the challenge. And then you'll see, yeah, this is uncomfortable, but compared to what I'm now able to do, it's pretty much a blessing in disguise. And I feel like a lot of our challenges can be blessings in disguise if we allow them to be. So I feel like every day you also have triumphs, and every day you wake up, you open your eyes, you take your first breath of today. It is a triumph because a lot of people don't get that opportunity to see the day that you're seeing. So triumphs is so much more than the big ones, it's the little ones. And I challenge you to show gratefulness and spend time meditating and spend time with God, and fall in love with life. Fall in love with the opportunities that are overlooked and not looked as big triumphs. They are still wins. A win is a win, baby. A win is a win. So we literally need to start enjoying that win and not just looking at things as like they don't exist. I encourage you to start looking at your triumphs as, oh God, thank you that I had enough money to pay this bill or pick up pizza for the kids, or God, thank you I had enough gas to get me to Walmart or to pay an electric bill, or I had enough money to give to a person in need or a friend in need. Or maybe you'll come across people who actually need something and they're down to their last, and they've reached out to you expressing their discomfort and expressing that, hey, I don't have a whole lot. It'll really be helpful if you could give me anything at all. Not really putting a number on it, but it's crazy how God will use you to bless other people, and that could be a triumph. Being that you had it to be there for that person. It's not your personal triumph. You're not on the receiving end, you're on the giving end. And I could go on and on and on about triumphs and what that means to me and what that should mean to us, but I'll stop it right here. And what I'll say is, I challenge you to write down, looking back, a list of things that were really, really huge challenges for you. And they're almost like a highlight reel, like when we go to Instagram and any other social media, how we have highlights of our good and bad and ugly, right? Sometimes people never put up their ugly, but there has been a couple of content creators that do. And because that's a part of who they are online, is highlighting the good, the bad, and the ugly so they can be more relatable and more transparent with their followers in their community. And so I challenge you to look back and make a list of all your challenges and a list of all your triumphs. And if your challenges are longer than your triumphs, then you're kind of like in that mindset that I was talking about before I started segment 3. Looking only at the really, really huge catastrophic things and the really, really huge immaculate things. We should be looking at the little things as well as the huge things when making this list. And you will start to find, just like in a gratitude journal, you have so much more to be grateful and gracious about. So take the time to write those out, and I promise it will only add, not take away. So, in conclusion, segment 1 was about the journey of self discovery. Who are you in these 20s? What is these 20s about? Challenges and opportunities. And segment 2 was about addressing questions of identity, spending time with God, surrounding yourself with the right people who are going to see things in you that you might not be able to see in yourself and be able to elevate you to that next level. Challenges and triumphs, being able to recognize what's a challenge and what's a triumph, and being able to see the good in those things, the challenges, and being able to see, oh, okay, yep, this is a triumph. I graduated from college. That is a triumph. But what about waking up every morning, being able to enjoy that cup of tea, that cup of coffee, being able to sit on your porch while doing it and just enjoying the weather that morning, the little things. So I encourage you guys to embrace your journey where you are in self discovery. I encourage you guys to definitely look at things from a different perspective this year. We are already in 2024. It's crazy because as the time keeps passing us by, any minute now, I feel like we're going to be in 3030. Or what's that song the Jonas Brothers made? 2030, something like that. It was some song off Disney a while back. 90s babies know. But definitely take every moment captive and reflect at the end of the day or at the end of the week and look back and see what was your week full of. Did you show gratitude? Did you spend time with God? Are you spending time with the people who you need to spend time with? Are you embracing where you are in your journey? And thank you guys for listening. As always, we will see each other in another episode of Resilience by Faith. Bye and take care. Be safe out there.